guys, this is Grandmaster Damian Lemos for onlinechesslessons.net, and today I'm gonna be covering the last round of the World Chess Championship match between Carlsen and Anand. Considering the match situation, Magnus has to equalize in order to be the new world champion, so let's see what happens. He opens the game with e4, Anand plays the Sicilian with c5, knight f3, d6, and here, instead of playing the open Sicilian with d4,
check,
Magnus plays bishop b5 check, which is quite a solid line for white, and it's called the Rossolimo variation. Anand plays knight d7. On the other hand, Anand has to play for the win, therefore he plays knight d7. Bishop d7, here we have
check,
some traits. After knight d7 it's different, because if white takes,
check,
here black has the bishop pair, so he can fight for the advantage. Bishops are usually better than knights. So after knight d7, white plays d4, black takes, queen takes, a6, and here we'll see
check,
the idea behind Magnus' play. Bishop takes, bishop takes. Here white, he's going to get a Maroczy bind with c4 plus e4, and as white we just got rid of bishop f1. This bishop would be a bad bishop in this position, so we'll be left with bishop c1, which is our best bishop. As you can see, bishop c1 will have a lot of good diagonals. Black plays knight f6, bishop e5. Well, the move order here, I guess it is relevant. Maybe knight c3 is also possible, or we can also try castling. When we play bishop e5, we want to destroy his pawn structure by taking the knight on f6. Therefore he plays e6, knight c3. If we take now, then black will trade queens off, and the resulting endgame with the pair of bishops against the pair of knights should be better for black. Remember that the bishop pair is a strong weapon, especially in open positions. So knight c3 is better, bishop e7. So far, natural moves. Bishop c6. I believe bishop c6 is a good in-between move, because if black castles here, then white might consider taking, and then he can try taking the d6 pawn, and if black takes this way, then his king is kind of open there, so well, maybe he can still play king h8 plus rook c8, but I mean, I like bishop c6. putting pressure on the e4 pawn, defending the d6 pawn. This makes a lot of sense. And Magnus plays queen d3. You'll find a lot of games with this move. Queen d3, the idea is, well, e4 is still protected. Basically we stop b5 and we'll place our knight on d4, therefore improving our position. Black castles here, knight d4, rook c8, b3. Well, we're still playing the Maroczy bind, and we have to understand that this pawn structure is offering white this space advantage. We don't have the bishop pair as white, however we have a nice advantage. I believe as white we are a bit better. Queen c7, knight takes c6. I would also consider, after queen c7, I would try playing this. I mean, I would consider this, because we are placing the rook on the same file as the queen, and maybe in the future I can try playing something like knight to d5. I mean, it's just a possibility. Knight takes. Well, we just get one of his bishops. That's good too, considering white is happy with the draw in this game. I mean, I would also consider taking the bishop, of course, and then we play rook ac1, h6. We won't take the knight on f6, because then we'll lose our powerful bishop. It's better to play bishop e3, and maybe we can try playing with bishop d4. Our bishop is still looking at the king side, and well, black plays knight to d7. As you know, in Sicilian, the freeing move for black is d5. However, I don't think he can play d5 in this game. Even if he tries something like this, we can play something like rook fd1, and we still have strong pressure there. We still have the same space advantage as white, so let's see this maneuver. Bishop d4. I like this move because now the bishop is also controlling the knight. We are controlling all the champs. And rook fd8, h3. Little by little improving white's position. Feels like black is still trying to equalize here, because he can't move much, whereas white has more space, stronger development. Queen a5. Well, maybe he wants to bring the queen to the king side with queen h5. Problem is, I don't see many targets on the king side. Magnus plays queen d2. Well, let's close this. I mean, here when he plays queen d2, he's trying to play let us say black plays this, a waiting move. Then we can play knight to d5, attacking the queen, and we are also attacking the bishop on e7.
Check.
So we'll have an in-between, and of course we get his powerful bishop on e7. The resulting endgame should be much better for us. So he plays king f8. Well, as we can see, when he plays this, he's actually stopping knight d5 and knight takes e7 check. And Magnus plays queen b2. Very strong move. We are looking at the e7 pawn. We have a nice battery here. And we can probably consider advancing with b4 as well. King e8 and a4. Well, white could have played queen d2, trying to repeat positions here, but considering he's got a better position with more space, he continues advancing with a4. Now we'll make sure b5 is no longer possible. Queen h5, knight to e2. We are ready to push the queen back with the knight. Bishop f6. And well, this is a nice concept for attacking, and it's also important from the strategy point of view. It's great to use the rook via the third rank. Here I think it's good for attacking too. If we can play something like rook e3, then you know it's not comfortable for black. However, we'll see that Anand defends quite well here. Honestly, I don't think this is easy for black. He's lacking space. He's got a weakness here. And as we can see, white is advancing with f4, e5. It's like white, he's improving little by little. However, black is just moving the queen and his position is not changing much. Rook d7, trying to double rooks up on the d file. a5, stopping these two. He can't play b5. We will take en passant there. Queen e5, and then e5. After this move, we'll see a couple of traits already. Knight to e8 looks like the only move. And here black, he'll try getting the pawn back as soon as possible. And here we'll see he gets the pawn back. The resulting endgame feels like white is better, because we'll have clear targets to attack here. And if we trade everything off here, I see that we'll have the chance of playing king f2, king e3, bringing the king to the center. And well, that's what happens. We trade everything off, and then we bring the king to the center. And that's a key concept in endgames. You have to use the king. In fact, well, see, we haven't moved our knight yet. We're just pushing our king till we get, yeah, to b6 probably. King d7, king c5, and king c7. Well, he stopped king b6, and he'll try playing something like knight to e4 check, probably, trying to push our king back, but we stop it with knight c3. And here black tries creating some counterplay with knight to e3. And white, instead of defending in a passive way with knight d1, he tries an active move, and that's better. It's better to play with the initiative. Knight e3, e3. I like e3 here because if e4, black might consider playing f5, trading some pieces off, and later on he can play knight e2, and then he's capturing the f4 pawn there, so e3 is better. f5, knight d6, e5. Again, I must say Anand is defending quite well. I think the best plan for black is trading some pawns off there. Maybe, I mean, yeah, if I were black, I would try getting a passed pawn on the king side too.
Check.
So knight to e8 check. King here.
Check.
Knight f6. King e7. Well, this is a brave decision. King c7 was also possible. Well, here white, of course, he can try repeating positions with knight e8 check, or maybe he can also go for the win and play knight e8. However, Anand plays king there, and well, we'll see some fireworks here for a while. Although I think draw should be, you know, the fair result for this endgame. King e7, the knight is trapped, but the problem is white is going to take all the pawns here. I mean, a6, b7,
check.
And Magnus, yeah, takes the f5 pawn first, and then king b6. Black has to create a pass pawn on the f file as soon as possible. His queenside pawns are lost anyway. And here knight to e6, which is probably the best try. I mean, the knight is getting closer to stop the a pawn, and the f pawn is promoting soon. So king b6, controlling the main squares for the knight, and we are also promoting with a6, a7, and a8. In fact, here, well, f2, we promote, he promotes. Yeah, black has the extra piece, but the problem is he doesn't have pawns. So unless white makes a big mistake, I don't think black can win this. No chance. Again, he doesn't have pawns. In fact, if white somehow advances his pawns, he might have a chance. So he plays queen e1. I really like this move by Magnus because we stop queen b4 check. Playing c5 was tempting, but then
check.
I think this move is annoying, and he'll have some checks on d4 too. I mean, I'm not sure about this. and I don't think white will advance the c5 pawn much, so I like queen d6,
check,
queen e3, king a6,
check,
knight c5 check, king b5. Well, black takes one of the pawns,
check,
but I think
check,
yeah, with this variation, yeah, that's what I was going to say. If somehow we trade queens here, then
check,
it's over. I mean, we get full equality.
check,
Queen takes, king takes. King h5 is going to stop the h3 pawn, whereas knight v3 is good enough to stop the c pawn. So it's a clear draw here. h4, king takes, c5. And then after knight takes, king takes, it's a draw. Well, it's great to see both Carlsen and Anand. They had a fight till the end, and well, congratulations to Magnus for being the new world champion. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in future analysis. Thank you.